The Nigerian Senate has issued a stern warning to the South African government to halt the frequent killings of Nigerians by its citizens or face grave consequences.
Indeed, the Senate summoned the Nigerian ambassador to South Africa to explain the circumstances that led to the alleged murder of the Deputy Director General of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, Elizabeth Ndubusi-Chukwu. The murder of Mrs. Ndubusi-Chukwu in June brought to 127 number of Nigerians that have been killed in South Africa in the last 3.5 years. The Senate urged the South African government to investigate the death of Nigerians who have died in suspicious circumstances in the country. Joining me now is President Nigeria Union South Africa, Adetola Olubajo. Thank you very much for joining us at this time. Good morning to you. This Ndubusi-Chukwu case now, what's your perspective?
On the case of Mrs. Chukwu, it's the reason why we're actually talking more about it, and it's actually in every lives of every Nigerian, is because he's an high-profile person. Killing of Nigerians have always been happening, so it's like a normal occurrence. So it's just that it's very, very outrageous, and if our own killing can actually help in stopping this menace, I think it will be of good thing to us that are living in
But this case is rather striking because it doesn't appear that she was the victim of violence, as we have seen in most of the of such cases of Nigerians, being killed in South Africa. I mean, she was in a hotel room, and as at now, what should have made it easy to identify the killers, now there's still a blank.
Yeah, actually, we don't know what actually happened because there is no investigation. I've always been saying that when we don't have full investigation and prosecution, the killing will continue because there is no deterrent to any of the criminals. Now, this thing happened in a hotel room. That is all we know. That is all we are certain, that somebody is actually dead and it was done in a hotel room. And we don't know whether she's a victim of crime because South Africa they are battling with crime problem. As a country, we don't know whether it's actually an organized crime wherein somebody, we don't even know if is some of our enemy that follow her to South Africa and do that.
And we cannot not know, if you get my drift, because like I said, the circumstances of this case now should narrow down and make easier. So are you now sticking to your initial response that like a seeming reluctance on authorities in South Africa to investigate this and other crimes?
It's obvious. They have not been investigating the formal murder cases. So this, and nothing is done, because if something is done, it's not ideal result for them to actually investigate it. So it is obvious that it will be treated the same way other murder cases have been treated, except if something drastic is done on the part of our government.
Like?
They need to actually, like what the Senate is trying to do now, they need not to relent on the momentum, to put pressure on them. All they can do, they cannot implement their law because it's outside the jurisdiction of Nigeria, but they can put pressure. There are diplomatic instruments that can be used to actually exert pressure on them to make sure that any murder case that involves Nigerians are actually investigated.
We have often heard of the killings of Nigerians. From your investigation within your association and your engagement, are they deliberate attempts against Nigerians, or Nigerians are just amongst a number of people who are killed?
I can say that there are some cases that is a deliberate attempt, because there are cases of where we feel that Nigerians are actually killing themselves. When business go wrong, those who engage in one various business or the other, the issue of Ozobulu is still very fresh in our mind, and then those guys are still there. One of them has been released from prison in Nigeria, so sometimes it's actually deliberate. But most of the time, Nigeria is just part of the people that, because we talk more about Nigerians, others, even citizens. In fact, the murder rate in South Africa, I think, is above 50 on a daily basis. And we have about an average of 1 or 2 every week, Nigerians. So our own problem is that these cases are not investigated. So there is no deterrence to whoever is
What is
in this
talk to us about the level of engagement between your union, the Nigerian union in South Africa, and the Nigerian embassy or the Nigerian High Commission?
We most times engage them. We have actually been working with them on most of these cases. When this thing happens, the first thing we do, because most times they don't have the information, they don't know the terrain. They come 2-3 years and changes them and so on. So the first point of call is the Nigerian embassy and then the consulate general in Johannesburg. Irrespective of how they feel about us, what we do is to actually inform them. There have been times that they will be responsive. There are some times they will not be responsive. And we believe that they are not doing enough because we have an African forum where we all meet with our other African leaders in South Africa. And we can see, we even visit them, what their ambassadors as well as their diplomatic circle are doing. Now, but they are not doing enough.
Okay, from your revelation when you said earlier that sometimes even Nigerians have issues between or among themselves that can lead to anything, at least maybe 1 or 2 issues here and there. At the level of the union, how do you try to resolve conflict within, if that exists within the union?
Most times you see that they don't report such things. But when it happens, there are quite a number of times, that are countless of times, that when we see such a thing, we move in immediately. We have had a situation of settling issues, even that not just businesses, trivial quarrel between traders. There was a time that Nigerian are in a particular part of Pretoria trading, and they are having problems among themselves. I had to go there myself, speak to them. Sometimes Nigeria will go to Home Affairs, they have problems there. We had to move in. So at every point in time that we are aware of it.
All right,
but in some cases, it's very difficult because you don't even know. These people that are killing, they are faceless.
All right. We have some reports have come out to say that a lot of Nigerians are involved in drugs in South Africa. Some don't have the required papers and all of that. In your union, how do you engage? How do you handle circumstances or situations like that?
The reverse is the case.
Okay.
A lot of Nigerians doesn't have papers.
Wow.
A lot of them doesn't have papers. But when it comes to engaging in drugs, there are few of them.
Okay.
Because now there is no any establishment, government establishment, private establishment, even Google and all these international multinational companies that you don't find Nigerians. There is no any university or hospital wherever you don't find Nigerians. Nigerians are engaging in lawful businesses, but there are few who have actually made it their own source of income. And so, and then these people, in most cases, they are known to the community. But you need to be very, very careful because there is a kind of trust deficit between the union and the police. Okay. So what we do at every point in time is to engage in programs to actually, because we partner with some other organizations that can actually help to say, oh, you can invest, you can do this, you can go to school, you can learn trade, you can do all these things. And we have some that we have helped to even repatriate back to Nigeria.
Okay.